Welcome, I'm Darren, and I'll be your guide today as I rank the worst overall rookie card designs of 1994. When I put together this list, I wanted to include all four sports. The problem is that for basketball, there was only one card that worked, and that was Stadium Club. And Stadium Club there are two things about it. First off, it's all about the image, and I kind of like the image. Well, I shouldn't say kind of like the images. I usually like the images on these cards, and so they come across very strong. On top of that, the design for the card is minimalist in order for it to be all about the card. And so when I look at the parts of the design that are there, I don't know how to judge it with the rest of the cards here in this list, because the thing is, when I look at the cards, I go, okay, they could be better, but I like the cards. So since I don't know how to judge it versus the others, I'm going to leave the basketball completely off, which is probably exactly where it belongs, which means that I have football, baseball, and I have hockey that I'm going to be looking at. And I have a top five or a bottom five worst of list. And then I have two honorable mentions. And the two honorable mentions are I could go either way with it. The first one is Collector's Choice Football. And this is a card where it's very minimalist, kind of like I was talking about with Stadium Club, with a very strong design feature on it. And with most of these cards, they're shots of players in their college uniforms. Not just that, they're airbrushed. So that means that even whatever potential that the whole uniform could provide, even that is lost. On the occasion when one of these cards is presented with a pro uniform, they look amazing, and they would easily be a contender for the best of list. The problem is there are only a couple that are that way. Most of them are college uniform shots, and with a card like this, which is emphasizing that, and with the airbrushing, they look cheap, they look secondary, they look like they should be in classic, and yet even with that, they don't entirely look like they should be in classic because they're missing, the logos. So it's problematic because of what the potential of the card was. It didn't realize it. And then my other honorable mention is Playoff, where we have kind of a similar situation. In this case, yes, most of the players are in their college uniforms and they're airbrushed, but I also have to acknowledge that some of the players do show up in pro uniforms as well, just like with Collector's Choice. Now, Collector's Choice has a good design feature on it. Playoff does not. That said, the tech chrome finish of the card for Playoff looks really impressive for the college uniforms and brings them out in a way that is really cool. So ironically, with the college uniforms, I think that the Playoff card looks better because the technology of the card is better, and that is a part of the design. I mean, it's part of how everything works. But when it comes to the pro uniforms, it doesn't work quite as strongly. So both of these they're worst card adjacent, but they are somewhat successful in certain circumstances. So those were the ones that didn't quite make the list. As far as the ones that make the list, well, let's take a look. And the first one on the list is Select for Hockey. Okay, so let me start off by saying this is an exquisite card. It really does look like a really nice card. Every time I look at it, I go, wow, that's really nice. That's about all there is to it, because once I then start to look at the card, it becomes a big mess and I don't even know what I'm looking at. You can tell the refined care that was put into the card just by the way that it comes through. It has some strong features that are very clear and distinct, and well, that's the only part of the card that works. The bottom. When you look at this card, it does grab your attention. It gets you excited. It says, okay, this is going to be a great card. And then where's the first place you look? Obviously, you see the stuff in the bottom, but you look to the player. But almost immediately, the player starts to kind of fall apart because the areas on either side are designed with an aesthetic trick about kind of blurring everything. But they take up most of the card. So you start with the player and then he blends into that or something, or I still don't even know exactly how this card works. That's not good. The fact that I have it here at number 5 because I want for the card to be nice is not a good, it doesn't work. But the fact is, it is the kind of card that at least you feel like, okay, this is good. I want it in my collection. I don't want to look at it, but I want it to be there. So, it's something. At number 4, I have Pinnacle for football. And here, this is in some ways kind of the exact opposite. So it does have the problem of the college uniforms, which is something that hockey didn't have to worry about, but I'll be getting to that in a minute. Because first off, it's the design features of the card that work. The stadiums on either side are really good because they're very clear, very distinct, but they don't hold your attention. They get your attention, but they don't hold it. And then down at the bottom, that stupid gold pyramid down at the bottom is overpowering, except in this case, it lines up in a way that it makes it look like it's designed into this whole card in a way where you kind of wonder, is this where they started? Because this is the only place where that feature works, which means this card works as a great frame. One side, the other side, the bottom, all of that is really focusing your attention on the picture of the player on the inside. And that's where the problem with the card is, because, okay, for Marshall Faulk, here's a great portrait of Marshall Faulk right in the middle of this card. Very clear, very distinct. You look right at it, you know who it is, and you almost get excited about it. The only problem is he doesn't play for the Falcons. He's going to play for the Colts. He did play for whatever not San Diego. I don't even know. Oh, Marshall. He probably played for Marshall. I don't know. I don't remember. And I don't really care because he's going to play for the Colts eventually. But at least with players like Marshall Faulk, the portrait works. I'm not feeling the NFL in this, which I'd like to. But, okay. My problem is not with Marshall Faulk. It's with all those stupid helmets. The airbrushed helmets just look horrendous. And they're so focused. They're so close in. These cards look like cheap knockoffs. This looks like a company that's swinging way above the fences where they are trying to get a contract, and they've just spent a fair amount of money to make these cheap knockoff cards that they're distributing at card shows, hoping that somebody will employ them, or I don't know what those cards were for. That's what these feel like. They don't feel real. They look nice, but they don't feel real. Dude, come on. It's time to celebrate these guys as pro players. And I get it. Pinnacle wanted to be at the front end of the card market, but it holds the whole card back, the whole card set back. Well, okay, not exactly. But at any rate, that's number 4. So when I go over to number 3, well, why don't I continue the theme? We've already got Select, we've already got Pinnacle, so let's now get Score out of the way with football. And this is a card where, okay, this is the best card of all of these cards. I actually really like the card. It's a grand celebration. The purple is cool. There's some dynamic quality to it. This is a card that jumps out and says, hey, we got the rookie class. Let's get excited about the rookie class. And then there's the image on the inside, which again is a college uniform that is airbrushed. And so here I'm looking at Charles Johnson, and I want to get excited about him, but he's clearly not a Steeler. What, did he go to Colorado State? I don't even know. I don't even care. This card, just no. The whole card is attempting to get me to focus in on the player. It is doing such a great job of focusing in, and it looks like a cheap knockoff. But at least with Pinnacle, it was a fancy card, and the rest of the card design looked nice. Here, I can't even say that. It's a grand celebration, like I said. But when you're shooting off confetti and streamers, it's all about the celebration, the event. And the event here is nothing, which makes the rest of the card be lost. It's such a disappointment. I will never be somebody who likes the college uniforms on pro cards. Because here's the thing. There are 2 parts of it. One of them, obviously, is I want to be looking at the NFL. I want to be looking at pro teams. So there's that side. But the other side is when you design cards, you're designing it to perform a function. And pro cards are designed for professional teams. They're not designed for college teams. If you're going to design for college teams, the cards are going to look different. And they don't design these pro cards for rookie shots in a way that works for college images. That's the problem. They don't design the cards to fit the particular look of college sports. So every time I look at this card, I just go, really? Why? Because it's the thing that's supposed to get me excited, the thing they've prepped me to get excited about, I can't get excited about. It's really unfortunate. But at least we've now run out of score brands. We've got Select, we've got Pinnacle, we've got Score, so we're good, right? Oh yeah, they did Sportflix in 1994 as well. All right, so we'll get 1994 Sportflix Baseball out of the way here at number 2. And here is a card that, well, there are two really great things going for it. The first thing is that they did a pretty good job with images, but the transition looks great on these cards. It really does. It's not like a sequence of plays as much as the way the two images work is a cool counterpoint to each other that I think works in a way that is a huge positive. And then I love that little mugshot up in the corner. The background behind it, that's really cool. I wish they'd done a better job with designing the interrelationship between that and the rest of the card. It's pretty clunky, but overall, I don't mind it. But oh, that sash. Oh my word, that sash is terrible. And it's terrible in many different ways. One, it's not well sized. It's too thin. It doesn't feel good. Two, I don't like the angle that it's at, which sounds dumb, but if you're going to use that angle, it's the same angle that Ultra used, but Ultra designed their card in a whole different way. And then the way that it's up so far up is, plays into the angle. All those things, whenever I look at the card, I just go, okay, there's something missing. Clearly there's something missing. It's supposed to be a little bit different, or there's supposed to be something else on the card, or what is it that's missing on the card? And the thing that's missing on the card is that they added the sash. That's what's missing. They should have included the removing the sash. I don't get it. But please don't make me talk about that card back. Please don't, because I don't want to have to move this all the way to number 1, because at number 1, I really want that to be, well, look, we've talked about everything Pinnacle has done in 1994. Let's bring the year to a close for Pinnacle with Pinnacle Hockey. And this is a card that is, man, it's a big mess. That's what it is. It's just simply a big mess. The whole image on the side is a big ask. Now, I'm not a fan of 1994 baseball, 1993-94 Upper Deck SE basketball with the big image on the small image on the side. I don't like the way that comes across. Here it's even worse because it just makes everything congested and busy. There's no reason to do it. And then the border between the two is that I still haven't pinned this down. I keep looking at it going, I can explain that. I can't explain it. That red band, I don't like it. I'll just say that. I don't like it. The logo could actually have some potential. I think it might have worked better if it was over along the little red border. That might have worked well, but it's not a strength. But the biggest problem I have with this card is that gold foil band down at the bottom that ties the two together, which looks to me like something that somebody did at the 13th hour where they went, oh, I got to go home now. Here, save, and then forgot to fix it. It doesn't fit with anything. It absolutely doesn't. It just, I don't know what they were thinking, but that's the problem. The problem with this card is I don't know what they were thinking. They were doing a bunch of stuff and none of it worked. This is a grand example of when you need somebody to look at it and go, dude, no, start over. That's what you need to hear with this card, because nothing on this, I don't look at a single thing on this card and go, that I like, that I want to keep. Everything, I don't see how any of these came together. It's almost like they had 10 terrible ideas and they went, let's just take 6 of them and stick them together and they'll be better. And maybe they were better, but that means that they started out really bad if that's the case. So, I don't like that card. But at any rate, that is my list of the top 5 or bottom 5 worst worst rookie card designs of 1994. And boy, they were all from Score Pinnacle. Pretty impressive. At least they were on a roll, so I will give them that. So I've already looked at the 3 individually, if you want to go back and look at the 3 different sports, and I'll be doing the best rookie card designs next week, so look out for that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and thank you very much for watching.